Hello witches, it's Strigabella. I'm just making a video to show you some updates. I'm not sure if I showed you, this is pretty much like my main working area, working altar for now. I had some stuff going on with, this is mistletoe, but it has something, some kind of stuff sprayed on it. It is a real mistletoe, but they did some kind of preservation type of thing to make it last. And this is a turtle shell that I found. I had to tape it in some spots because it started to get loose. So this is where I do most of my major working. And I've redone my little bookcase here so that I can access my things more easily. As I had moved and I started to try to organize things in this small apartment, I had a lot of my stuff like in baskets like this, or inside like these kind of boxes and things, but I wasn't able to access the things that I use on a regular basis because each of my mortar and pestles are used for different purposes. So I've reorganized recently so that I can access them all as needed. Same thing with this. It's a long clear container. I inherited this as well as this from my grandmother. And I have my long cinnamon sticks as well as some other wood things like wood that has been chewed by, this is Joy, hi, that has been chewed by beavers. So I have that energy of homemaking and work, like productive work from the beavers, and that you can take that type of energy and use it for things that you might have need of for that type of energy. And that's what I use that for. Same thing with the turtle shell can be used for like home. Also, it can be used for something that needs bone structure, like what would you call that? Like foundation for a home, foundation for a physical stability. That's what a shell, turtle shell, can be used for. And then you can also look up the representations in books and see what the turtle represents, or the beaver. Things like that can be used in a variety of ways. But those are just a couple things I use them for. And then I have my cauldrons more accessible. I've been smudging a lot lately because we've been in need of it. Let's see. And then I also had to reorganize all these two boxes, as well as this huge basket, are all filled with candles of different shapes and sizes, because I had those packed away, and I had all these boxes kind of under beds and under bureaus and things, but that wasn't very, it just didn't feel accessible, and it felt a little bit more cluttery. I know it's kind of cluttery as it is, but in this small space, at least I can access it more easily. And then over here, same thing. These boxes and basket were tucked away somewhere, and I couldn't access it easily. But now all I have to do is move the top basket of mismatched socks, and then in here are some of my things that I use regularly. My pentacle, and I use index cards for when I word my things that I'm going to use in ritual, so that I don't forget. And if I do forget, I can just look down. And then I have all my cone incenses in this little box. And then this picnic basket type of thing, I have a travel set in here. I have candles, incense, a bell, tarot cards, just like a whole setup if I need to be on the go. And so that's this stuff. So this way my things are just a little bit more accessible. And then this is kind of another altar setup type of thing, but it's less, you know, like, this isn't one of the ones where you have to have everybody keep their hands off. This is more for everybody, like a family one, a family setup, because I have these runes here, and what you can do is anybody in the family can take one each day, and that's a good way to get everybody learning the different runes and what they mean. So it's kind of like a daily grab one and see what's in store for the day. And I did the same thing with the crystals, so that it gets everybody interested and wanting to touch them and feel their different energies when you leave stuff like that out in a basket. But you know, obviously if it's something you use just for sacred space and sacred things, you don't want people touching them and putting their energy on things like that. But these are ones that I do leave out, and I don't mind my family touching them and all that. What was in here? Oh yeah, these are more stones. This one is a geode that hasn't been cracked open yet, and I have smaller stones in there. So that's that. And then my bookcase is still the same. And then in here I have more. These are just lots and lots of ritual stuff. Let's see, candles, broken glass, and more along the lines of stuff you would use for ingredients in spell work. Same thing within here. I also have an extra abalone shell and feather, and stuff like that. Okay, and sorry, my home is like totally a mess right now. I haven't cleaned in a while because I've been really sick. And then I have tons. My daughter constantly takes out all my candles because I had these all kind of put away, but they're all out again because she loves lighting them. What? Oh yeah, I know, if it's too long, right? And then this is all my stick incense. I use this constantly every day, so I have it right here because when I wake up I usually light incense. This I use for edible. This is like my kitchen mortar and pestle, and I have another bigger one that goes with it. All my candles, candle stuff. I hang my earrings on this tree. It used to be all black, but the black is coming off of it. I might bring up my other tree. I have like a velvet one, but the branches are much wider. But I like hanging my my jewelry, my earrings, on these Halloween-y kind of trees. These dark, kind of creepy looking trees. What else? And then I have my you guys have seen this in previous videos. I've had that for a long time now. And I got it for a really good deal in Salem at an antique store. This is so heavy. This thing, if you ever needed a weapon to hit somebody who was breaking in your house, this would do it. It's very heavy, and I got it for a really great price. And then this is another antique. It actually plays music, but there's a wind-up thing in the back. I had found this in Maine at another antique shop when we were on vacation. I had been looking for an antique jewelry box for a long time, and this is it. I have to dump my ashes into my ash pot. I haven't done that in a while. And in here I have some ritual jewelry and other things like that. And then here's my antlers, and This is a tiny bird nest. I think the only bird that could fit in it would be a hummingbird. I found that at my old house. And I think it's lovely. I leave it there to always remind me of nests and family and children. And it's just, nests are a wonderful thing to have and also to use in ritual or spell work. Because think of the bird and how the birds have to search and search for just the right things to put their nest together, and how amazing it is that they know how to do that. And the nest is where the babies are nurtured, born, and grow up, and then eventually leave. And it's just a wonderful energy. I have a huge bird nest that I break little pieces off to use. And it'll probably last me a very, very long time because I try to use it sparingly. And then here I have my oils, some of my essential oils, and other things. I've had these things since I was a little kid, and I use these when I need to visualize energies from certain animals, or if I need to generate certain feelings, emotions. I have my bell, and yeah, dream catcher. And then next to my bed, all these boxes. These are the books that I was using yesterday, and my drawer is open like that because the ferret actually has taken over the whole bureau. He lives inside and in the back, and he just goes through all of these drawers and sleeps in them. So any clothes that I do put in there, I know he's going to be sleeping in. This is just some more, just different things, ingredients for spell work, herbs, seeds. This is all my tarot and runes in here. Actually, not all of them, but I have a bunch of stuff for tarot and divination. This is like a whole divination kit right here. And here I have books that just don't fit on my bookshelves and that I have close to the bed because they're reference material. And then I have more tarot in here. I have my broom, my favorite broom, my most expensive. And then in the back I have altar cloths and things that I need to rip pieces off to use and stuff like that. The more involved I get in, or not the more involved, I guess the more skilled I get, I'm able to know exactly what to use. Things that you'd never think to use, like I save things like shoelaces and things that break off of things, like a bracelet that somebody had broke that was made of jade, and I saved the little jade pieces and I use that in my work. Down here, that little pink box, I have all kinds of little mini animals made out of various stones, and then I have more candles. So it's coming along, and it's becoming more and more of my own natural habitat. We are riddled with snow right now in Massachusetts. There is so much snow. It's like totally ridiculous. I have my egg that my grandmother gave me out in hopes of the springtime. And yeah, so I had things set up on here for Valentine's Day. This is like the changeable according to season shelves. I guess that's what you would call it. And then I have just my little room over here with all the plants, and I just planted that little tiny guy from here, and that is my last mortar and pestle, which I use for to crush up the herbs that I pick right out of my plants. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you guys the babies. These are baby aloes. And there's one other teeny tiny one in there, if you can see it right there. So my aloe plant has had babies, and I love that. It's a happy little aloe plant. So I'm going to go make a cup of tea, and blessed be. Bye.